Boya, that shadowy town perched on the loose green slopes of Mount Cameroon, hides more than the eyes can see. Behind the colonial houses and new glassy buildings stretching towards Moliko and Wokoko, something stirs. Something older than the Germans, older than the Bakweri, something that sleeps beneath the volcanic soils. It began with an apartment room 8B, Mboko Heights, an unfinished building whose completion was always delayed by unexplained issues, owned by a shadowy landlord no one ever saw in daylight. Its rusted gates groaned like a creature in pain whenever touched. By day, it was just a half-built concrete skeleton, hidden behind overgrown elephant grass. But by night, it breathed. No one dared to live there. No one until Linda. Linda Mbeng was 25 years, fresh out of the University of Boya, with a second-class upper in microbiology and too many secrets. She was a Kumba girl, orphaned during the infamous Kumba shootings. She had seen too much death to fear walls or whispers. All she needed was quiet, a place to finish her internship at the regional hospital and escape the chaos of youth camp, Pentecostal screams, and controlling aunties. So, when the landlord at Wokoko told her, there is an apartment but people say it's haunted, Linda smiled. Haunted? She had watched her mother bleed out on tiled floors. Ghost didn't scare her. When she moved into room 8B, she paid 3 months' rent in cash. The agent didn't even ask for her name. Don't open the window at midnight, he mumbled as he handed her the keys. She thought it was just a joke she would wish she had listened to. Her first night was quiet, unnatural, quiet. Boya usually bustling with generators, bar music, car horns, and the call of owls from the bush was certainly muted. It was as if Mboko Heights had built its own silence. Linda lay on her mattress, staring at the ceiling. Then, tick, tick, tick. A sound came from above, like feet, bare feet walking slowly on the ceiling. She froze. Rats, she whispered, laughing nervously, but the footsteps weren't random. They walked back and forth, like someone pacing. Then she heard scratching, soft, deliberate scratching from inside her wardrobe. When she flung it open, nothing, just her clothes and a family Bible. She forced herself to sleep, but in her dream, she saw it, the room, her room, but deeper. In the dream, the apartment stretched downwards like a spiral staircase, descending into earth, layer after layer. She walked, and as she did, the walls bled. Then she saw her mother. Her mother's face decaying, lips sewing shut, pointing downwards. She awoke screaming. The next day, she met Joel. He was tall, light-skinned, and carried a smell of tobacco and secrets. He lived in room 8A, or rather, he existed there. He never left the compound, never bought food, yet every evening, the smell of fried fish and arrow came from his room. They shared a bottle of Guinness that evening. Joel talked a little. When Linda asked why he stayed in such a place, he said, some apartments are built to trap spirits, but sometimes humans move in instead. Linda laughed, but he didn't. He didn't even flinch. Whatever you do, he said, don't talk to the woman in the mirror. What mirror? She asked. Joel looked at her, puzzled. "You've not seen it, haven't you?" That night, she searched her apartment and found it. Behind the wardrobe, embedded into the wall, a mirror, old with a bronze frame carved like snake scales. It hadn't been there before. On the third night, Linda tried not to look, but something in the mirror called to her. At exactly 11:57 p.m., she stood in front of it, armed with a flashlight. The mirror was dark, not reflective, not glass, more like a screen turned off. Then, at 12 a.m. sharp, a woman appeared. She wore traditional beads, her eyes hollow, mouth open as if screaming in silence. Her skin was cracked like dry earth. She looked just like Linda, but it wasn't her. The reflection raised its hand and wrote on the inside of the mirror with blood, "Free me, or be me." Linda screamed and broke the mirror with a mop handle. It didn't crack. Instead, it absorbed the blow like water. And for the first time since moving in, she felt cold. A deep ancestral cold. The cold of the grave. Over the next few days, things escalated. Linda stopped dreaming. Her sleep was black. Her fridge spoiled food even without power cuts. She started hearing drums, deep ngoma beats from the walls at 3 a.m. Only one day, she returned from work to find three things on her kitchen table: a calabash filled with river mud, a torn piece of white cloth with the initials LM, a lizard with no head still moving. She ran to Joel's room, but he was gone. His door was wide open. Inside was nothing. No mattress, no clothes, no smell of food, just a single photo on the floor. A photo of Linda sleeping in her room. She had not taken that photo. Desperate, Linda visited the old man of Bonduma, a traditional healer known to deal with things science no fit explain. He listened carefully, eyes like cracked glass. Then he whispered. He moved into a spiritual skin hole, a place built on an abandoned shrine, the kind that holds back something ancient. He gave her three things: a bitter collar split in half, a red string to tie around her ankle, a warning: don't accept food from any visitor at night. When she returned, the mirror was back, clean, polished. Her reflection smiled at her. It wasn't her smile. On the seventh night, it came, a knock at the door, gentle and rhythmic. Knock, 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 knock. She looked through the peephole. A woman, elderly, dressed in traditional wrappers, holding a steaming bowl of ndole. "My daughter," she said, "you forgot your promise." "I didn't promise you anything." "You did, in the dream under the tree of teeth." Linda's knees buckled. She remembered that tree from her nightmares. It had skulls of fruit. "Take, eat, and be free." Linda ran to the kitchen and threw salt on the door as the old man had told her. The woman hissed, her face peeled, revealing a blank skull beneath, and vanished into thin air. But the bowl of ndole was still there, still steaming. That night, Linda didn't sleep. Instead, she sat on her cold tiled floor with her back against the door, the red string tied around her ankle, clutching her Bible like it was a life jacket in stormy waters. Then at exactly 3:13 a.m., the mirror whispered, not spoke, whispered. A voice that sounded like hers and her mother's and someone older than time all at once. They buried a woman here, alive, under this room. A seer, a betrayer. Her bones are the pillars of this apartment. Linda staggered forward, heart pounding like a juju drum, and then, creak, the floor groaned. She looked down. A tile was shifting by itself. She pried it up. Beneath, not earth, not cement, but something that looked like skin, a leathery, pulsing membrane. She touched it, it was warm, and it breathed. At sunrise, Linda left Mboko Heights and went straight to the archives building near the regional government office. There, she bribed the wary clerk with arrow and fish. "Ever heard of Mboko Heights?" she asked. The clerk narrowed his eyes. "You mean the one built on the old shrine land?" "What shrine?" "During the German times, there was a Nganga, a powerful priestess who could see spirits. When the colonizers came, she cast their outpost. She was captured and buried alive under her own shrine as punishment. That shrine is..." Linda's heart froze. "Her name?" He scanned the dusty record books. "Linda Mokake." She almost fainted. Her full name, Linda Mokake Mbeng. The same initials on the torn cloth. The mirror woman wasn't mimicking her. She was her. That evening, Linda tried to pack her things, but every bag she zipped reopened itself. Every item placed by the door found its way back inside. Her room had become a trap, a mouth with no exit. Her skin began to itch deeply from within. When she checked her bag in the mirror, she saw something moving beneath her skin. Bristling like snakes, like veins pulling strings, something was entering her. That night, she dreamed she was inside the walls, watching herself sleep. And the woman in the mirror, she was now outside the mirror, brushing Linda's hair, whispering, "Sleep so I can wear your face better." And the woman in the mirror, she was now outside the mirror, brushing Linda's hair, whispering, "Sleep so I can wear your face better." Linda screamed and ran, but the tunnel no longer led upward. It twisted, turned, and reappeared back in her room. Time had broken. Her phone screen flickered July 7, 1903. The room was no longer hers. Old iron beds, colonial equipment, blood on the walls. She had slipped into the shrine's memory, a time fold. That night, drums beat again. This time, from outside her. Her heart matched them. Boom, boom, the rhythm of summoning. In the cracked mirror on the far wall, she saw her reflection. But this time, it smiled, stepped out, and said, "Now, you stay here." It placed its hand on her forehead. Everything went black. 2 weeks later, the apartment was relisted. New paint, fresh tiles, discount rent. A new tenant, a young man named Sam, fresh from Yaoundé, moved into room 8B. "Haunted?" "I know the fear ghost. A ghost the fear me," he said. That night, he unpacked his things. He opened the wardrobe. Behind it, an old mirror with bronze snake frames. And from inside the mirror, Linda smiled. "Welcome home," she whispered. Sam stared at the mirror. It had no business being there. Tucked behind the wardrobe, heavy with bronze snake coiled along its edges. The glass shimmered with an old-world glaze, a subtle ripple like water disturbed. But the mirror didn't reflect the room correctly. In its version, the wardrobe was missing. The walls were cracked. Shadows danced from a light source that didn't exist in the real room. And Linda, she stood where he should have been. He blinked and shook his head. The mirror returned to normal. No Linda, no ripples, no strange shadows. Too much travel, Sam muttered. Jet lag don't enter my brain. He moved the wardrobe back against the wall, sealing the mirror behind it. The room suddenly felt lighter, just a trick of the eyes. He was a rational man, biology student, second class upper, streetwise from Melon to Mbankomo. Ghost weren't real. He had more chances of catching malaria than meeting a spirit. But that night, he couldn't sleep. Every hour something pulled him awake. Drums, faint, yet rhythmic. Not from the street, not from another apartment. The beat deep in the walls. Boom, boom, boom. Like a second heartbeat. At 2:33 a.m., he heard footsteps pacing. But when he looked out, the halfway was empty. At 3:07 a.m., water trickled from the ceiling, thick, red, and warm. But by morning, it was gone. And when Sam looked in the bathroom mirror to brush his teeth, he saw Linda behind him smiling. The building had a history, but it wasn't on Google. You had to ask the ground. Downstairs, the caretaker, Mama Chica, was sweeping the front steps when Sam descended in the morning. "Mama," Sam said, trying to sound casual, "who used to live in room 8B? She paused. "You mean before you?" "Yeah." She straightened, her eyes narrowing. "No one lived long there. Just some girl, didn't pay rent, disappeared. Police come, find blood. That one passed my power." Sam's throat tightened. "You know her name?" She looked him dead in the eyes. "Linda, and you no go mention that name again." He wanted to ask more, but the way her lips tightened silenced him. He went to class late, distracted, and skipped his afternoon lectures entirely. The night Sam returned with anointing oil and crucifix, his mother had warned him, "Anytime you go new place, sprinkle oil and pray. You no know wetin dem bury for ground." He had laughed back then, but now he poured oil on the four corners of the room and whispered Psalms 91 with trembling lips. At midnight, the mirror perfect behind the wardrobe. Once, twice, then silence. The third night, he couldn't move. It started as a dream. He was standing in a tunnel, the same kind Linda had seen, walls of dead, an ancient scent of blood and herbs. Drums called from above. A shadow behind him whispered in a voice that was partly Linda's and partly something older. "You broke the seal." He turned. Linda stood at the mouth of the tunnel, her eyes sunken, her fingers stretched too long, her skin cracked like burnt paper, revealing symbols beneath. When she smiled, her teeth dripped ink. He woke with a scream, but his body wouldn't move. He was paralyzed, awake but trapped, his eyes fixed on the ceiling. In the corner of his eyes, movement. Linda stepped from the mirror. She walked on the wall like gravity didn't matter. She knelt beside him and placed her hand on his forehead, just like she had done to herself. "You stay this time," she whispered. Sam felt a force entering him, not cold, not hot, but ancient. It pressed against his mind like a flood behind a dam. Then, nothing. He woke up the next morning with his bed soaked in sweat and a bruise in the shape of a hand on his forehead. Desperate, Sam went to see an old herbalist named Baba Ebong at the edge of town. The old man had cataracts that glowed silver and bones wrapped in red cloth hanging from the rafter. "You see her?" Baba Ebong asked, as Sam explained. "Every night," Sam said. "She talks to me, the mirror, the tunnel. Sometimes I wake up with blood on my hands." "You have opened her path," Baba said. "The shrine remembers, and it warns you. Shrine? Before white man come, it be been a shrine for summoning. The mirror is the gate. Linda enter and now she be gatekeeper, but her body no fit hold the spirit, so she did look for new shell. Sam swallowed. Me? Yes, you. What can I do? Baba Ebong handed him a calabash sealed with red wax and chicken feathers. Tonight, when the drums start, break this, pour am for the mirror, but no look inside. Why? If you look, it will pull you in. You no go come back. That night, Sam didn't sleep. He waited. At exactly 2 a.m., the mirror began to hum. The wardrobe rattled. The air thickened. Shadows coiled like snakes on the walls. Sam pushed the wardrobe aside. The mirror was already glowing. Linda's face rippled across its surface. "You're still here," she said. "I brought you something," Sam whispered. He smashed the calabash. A torrent of dark red liquid splashed against the glass. It hissed and steamed like acid. The mirror screamed. Yes, it screamed. The snakes on the bronze frame twisted and writhed. Cracks spread across the glass. The room spun. Sam staggered back, but his eyes, just for a moment, caught Linda's, and the mirror exploded. When Sam awoke, he was on the floor. His ears rang. Smoke lingered. The mirror was gone, shattered to dust and bronze fragments, but the air was wrong. The room looked the same, but something was missing. No shadows, no echo. The silence was too deep. Perhaps he looked into the mirror and disrespected Baba's instruction. He stood and checked himself, alive, whole. He stumbled out into the hallway. The building was empty, completely. No tenants, no furniture, just cobwebs and ash. He walked outside. The streets were gone. In their place, trees, mud, oil lamps drum in the distance. He was in 1903. The shrine had rules. One goes in and one comes out. When Sam had broken the mirror, he had reversed the current. The portal closed, but not without cost. Besides, he looked into it. In the present, a girl opened her eyes on the floor of room 8B. Linda, whole again, free. The bronze mirror was gone, the apartment repainted, but Linda remained. Her memory was faint, drums, darkness, centuries of waiting, but she was here now. She stood, stretched and smiled. Finally, outside, city sounds rose again. Cars, hawkers, church bells. Time had caught up, but in 1903, deep in the shrine, Sam wondered, alone. The drum had stopped, and the mirror was watching. Please subscribe to watch more of our videos. Thank you.